What's going on guys, Kelvin here and welcome to 320 Tech. In today's video I want to show you guys my hands-on with iOS 14 Public Beta 2. If you guys haven't already seen my previous video about all the new features on iOS 14, go and check it out now. Anyways, Apple released iOS 14 Public Beta 2 about a week ago, and since then I've been testing it out. From what I've gathered, you probably don't want to be installing this on your main phone. It's a bit buggy, not all the features work perfectly, and I've definitely noticed some battery drain as well. Now that I've got that out of the way, Alright, so as you can see here, this is my home screen. It's got a bunch of different apps that I use every single day, but it's also got a bunch of apps that I don't use very often either. Thing is, I can't delete these apps because they become very useful in certain situations. So what can we do about these apps? This is where the app library comes in. So what we do is we hold on to any app icon from the home screen and enter Google mode. From here, we click on the dot at the bottom of the page and this will bring up a view of every single app page we have. What I'm going to do is uncheck the last two pages since I rarely ever use those apps. And that's it! Now my home screen is simple, clean and less cluttered. If you ever want to access those apps that we just got rid of, the very last page of the home screen is where the app library is. The app library intelligently categorizes the apps so they are easy to find. If you don't want to use that method, you can also put it on anywhere on the screen and an alphabetical list of all your apps will appear. Real simple. iOS 14 also introduces widgets to the home screen. What this means is you'll be able to view widgets of different shapes and sizes that can be placed alongside your app icons. These widgets show rich information that gather data from the original app, update in real time, and are even scrollable. Most widgets also have a range of different sizes that cater towards your preferences. You can keep it simple with a 2x2, see more with a 2x4, or get really creative with a widget that can take up half your screen. It's really cool. There's also this thing called a Smart Stack widget that'll change throughout the day. As it gets to know what you want, the widget will change and show you information it thinks will help you the most. Also, the really cool thing about it is it can be customized to include apps that you want and remove apps that you don't need. Picture-in-Picture in iOS 14 will allow you to be more flexible with how you consume your media. To invoke this feature, start off by watching a video, then make the video full screen, and then swipe up from the bottom. As you can see here, the video that I'm watching is now in a movable window that can be placed literally anywhere you like. This can be used when taking notes from a lecture, watching a movie whilst messaging your friends, and even being able to use other apps whilst FaceTiming someone. Even better, you're able to hide the video that you're watching by dragging the viewer to the side, and it'll continue to play the audio as you have a full screen again. One of the features that no one really saw coming was the ability to double or triple tap the back of the phone to invoke an action. This literally could be any action, and one of the ones I personally have a link to is accessing the control center. Even with my large hands, I struggle to reach the control center, especially when using the phone with one hand. Now, it's as simple as a triple tap anywhere on the back of the phone and bam! How cool is that? As far as I know, this is the first of its kind and it's really interesting. To enable this feature, you go into Settings, Accessibility, Touch, scroll down to the very bottom and there it is. Back tap. As I said earlier, it can be configured to double or triple tap and it's only available on phones without a home button. Let me know in the comments if you guys found this feature useful. Okay, next up is inline reply in messages. This is a feature that iMessage has desperately needed since all major messaging apps like WhatsApp, Messenger and Telegram have had it for years now. It's as simple as long holding on a message, click the reply button and there you go. From here, you're able to directly reply to a sudden message. Speaking of the Messages app, you can now pin contacts to the very top of the app. To do this, just find the contact that you want to pin, slide right and tap on the yellow pin. Moving on, Siri has a brand new look. It's now at the bottom and you can also see your background, but if you touch it, Siri goes away. Wow! The camera app now has some additional features that make it slightly easier to use. You can now hold the shutter button to start filming a video and, you guessed it, if you tap the shutter button, it takes a photo. Also, you can now change the resolution and frame rate of your videos by just tapping the top right corner. Onto privacy, you can now see whenever your camera or microphone is being used by checking the top right of your status bar. A green dot means that your camera is being used, and an orange dot means that your mic is being used. You might not think this is useful, but some apps use your camera and mic without your permission, and this will let you know when that happens. iOS 14 introduced a new app called Translate that basically does what it says. It translates. From my experience, it worked pretty well, had a simple to understand interface, and supported about a dozen languages. I personally feel like if they included more languages and perhaps real-time translation with the use of AirPods, I'd be more willing to use it. Until then, Google Translate is still the better app. Overall, iOS 14 is a big jump when compared to iOS 13. They've added widgets to the home screen, improved on some really powerful apps, they've listened to the customer feedback, all while maintaining user privacy. That's not to say it's perfect. There are still a few things that would make the overall experience better. Things like allowing me to set the default Maps app to Google Maps, allowing the user to customize the app icons, further improvements to notifications, and so much more. iOS 14 pushed iPhones in the right direction in terms of software, and it appears that Apple is finally listening to the feedback they're getting. Let's just hope that they continue to do this, and who knows, maybe you watching right now might buy an iPhone. Maybe? No? So those were the main features that I personally found useful inside of iOS 14, although it still is in a beta stage right now, so all the features that I just outlined can change in the future. As always, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you want to keep up to date with everything about iOS 14 and help support my channel. As always, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.